Hang on. Do I have... I can't message him. I'm pretty sure this is a best of 3. We're gonna roll with the assumption that these guys are wrong because it's the quarterfinals, guys, and like every ESL bracket that I've ever done since the beginning of time is a best of 3 start at the quarterfinals. The sound effect sounds like a mechanical wet fart. What are you talking about? Alright, hang on. I gotta pay attention to the game. We're in game right now, guys. It's another Starbow match. And we're a little bit confused at the moment, but I believe it's the best of 3. This is currently the quarterfinals. And we just watched the player here in the lower right corner of the map. He's the Teal Terran player, LuckyGnom. And his opponent in the lower left, a bit of a newcomer, but he's yellow. He's KratisTos, and it is KratisTos. Now, here's one thing about Starbow that's a big deal. You guys have seen a lot of really bad games in past days, if we're going to be honest. The first couple Starbow tournaments were incredibly not just one-sided, but there wasn't a lot of skill involved, except for a select amount of people who had a really good handle on the game early. Now that we've fast-forwarded through time, and I think this is like Starbow tournament like 6 or 7 or something, there's been a lot of time for people to not only watch VODs, copy from the best, and learn from the best, but additionally practice the game and play it out themselves and try and find a way to better, I guess, better handle Starbow. So what's kind of nice and what I'm really glad about is like, well, I might be behind a little bit in the meta because I don't play the game as much as these guys do. I mean, I really casually play Starbow like once a week. They've had a lot of time to practice. They've had a lot of time to put the work in and try and figure out what works best, what doesn't work best. And while there's not a giant ladder community set up yet or anything, there's still a lot of really, really competitive players. And if you go to any of the Starbow chats on North America, Europe, doesn't matter, there's always tons of people there looking to play games. Now these two are going to awkwardly scout alongside one another here in the top left corner. This is going to, for a moment, look like he's coming into the KratisTos base, but of course that's not what's happening here. Did he fully scout that to confirm? I didn't. Okay, he did. Didn't quite see where the Nexus would have been, but I think he was looking from pylons anyways. So some process of elimination is going to go down. This looks like it might be one of the rare maps in Starbow where Reapers might be applicable, much less viable. Don't know if LuckyGnom would necessarily really go for them, but Reapers have what is, in my opinion, one of the most fun abilities that Starbow has to offer for early Terran units, and that's the C8 cluster bomb or whatever it's called in this. It's basically a delayed charge on a bomb you put down. It's kind of like a spider mine. It's not targetable though, I believe, and it just like, you know, counts to 8 or something and then it explodes, and there's a pretty big area of effect around it. And what it does is a lot of damage to buildings, but it still is a huge hit to units. And if you get like 9 of those in the mineral line, just chuck them all down, and that mineral line is going to go down if the probes aren't pulled. But Singularity Charge, the range upgrade for Dragoons is on the way, and like I said, this is a very common thing to see, just to get Dragoons out quick. Now the Spider Mines coming out really fast is what fascinates me here, because Spider Mines are actually going to fare pretty decently against low numbers of Dragoons, but if there's 2 or more, they're going to start one-shotting these Spider Mines, and not a lot of damage is actually going to get done. So we'll see just how this fully gets used here. I guess it'll work fantastically against the Zealot, so that's for sure. If he expects any sort of poke. We'll see that one Zealot here with that SCV, so backs on away. Man, why can you hear fire? Like, this is so weird to me. I've never like had my game sounds on properly, I guess, and hearing fire sounds weird. Just like the crackling as you scroll around the map. SCV, of course, wants to go back into scout, but doesn't quite know if or where, or if it'll even get out alive. Rest in peace, buddy. Scans to see if there is in fact no natural down, so he knows there's gonna be aggression coming his way. Straight up 3 gateways as well as a robo facility being thrown down. Now we saw the Reaver follow up last game, not get anything really done against a player like LuckyGnom because he was prepared for it. He was ready. He saw it coming and had tanks out. He had, well, the tanks were coming anyways for the defense of the bunker, but you know, he put the siege tanks around his command center before he even had to worry about it. He knew that they would be coming at some point in the game, and it's not exactly the most common go-to, but it's really popular to incorporate them at some point. Now he will scan the robo facility, which is great. Doesn't scan any other tech here, which is a little bit scary to see. But the observatory, okay, no, I was going to say the observatory. What a big tell! Observers will be on the map. How scary! These spider mines will arm on one of the Dragoons. That's actually quite a bit of damage. Not only does it strip all the shields, but as we see, about half health on the actual Dragoon. siege mode being researched right now. It's weird to consider siege tanks, you know, hitting so hard, considering what that's a whole Wings of Liberty plus StarCraft 2 Heart of the Swarm expansion where you're just used to siege tanks operating one particular way. Now they kind of rewind time and it's just back to the like old school siege tank. It's kind of cool though. I kind of like it better this way, to be honest, but whether it's balanced or not is a whole nother question. I'm just gonna try and kite around this out just a tad. Should be able to pick this off for free. No spider mines left on them, so they don't really have a lot of use. Scanning the fact that they're still not a natural base was a little bit scary. I mean, ooh, is that out of range of the scan? I believe that was. Okay, so he doesn't quite see the Robo Bay coming down, but he can probably predict it'll be Scarabs if he sees that Warp Prism. I don't know about, I mean, again, like I said, I'm a little bit behind the Starbow metagame, but I'm pretty confident that there's not a lot of, like, Dragoon drops that go off. So, he's got to wonder what the Warp Prism could be for if he scouts it, but again, that's if he scouts it. Back at home, siege tanks are set up quite nicely. Even if Reavers do come, it really shouldn't catch him off guard. Another factory on the way, so looking to really just lay into this mech style. I like the spider mines being placed down here too. This is actually a really nice addition because, like, let's assume the Scarab drops right on top of the tank, right? Well, first off, the Warp Prism will probably die to the missile turret, but spider mine will pick it off if the tank can't. I mean, thrusters on the way. This of course makes vultures a little bit quicker than your average ground unit. In fact, it does make them even faster than speedlings, which is really strange to consider, but they gonna need to haul ass out of here if they want to live to see another day. Will lose one of them. I'm not quite gonna lose that second one, but with 5 health, barely gets away by the skin of its teeth. Nicely positioned observer in the base, doesn't get to see much, but can always kind of pull an overlord, I guess, suicide in and get whatever crucial information is necessary. For now, though, it's going to be kind of a passive game, I think. LuckyGnom, he's really scared of some sort of aggression. Still scared. Finally sees that a natural base has been placed down. It's going to put a little bit of weight off his shoulders, because if a Protoss player is still playing one base at 11 minutes in the game, it means one of two things. One, either he is incredibly bad at this game, and this will be a very easy victory, or the complete opposite, where this is really scary. It could be some sort of insane one base all in, but no pressure has been shown, and the scanning has been absolutely just perfect for LuckyGnom. Pardon me there. I was fighting back a yawn for a little bit. Still waking up here early in the morning over the Pacific time zone for this. Damn you, Europe! But it's a couple spider mines being placed around. Again, scouting information is key in this matchup more than anything else, and they will provide precisely that. They'll also be able to do a little bit of damage if given the opportunity, but looks like not going to be the case here just today. One Scarab has been placed in this Warp Prism, and one will be dedicated to this sort of poke. Now, this is not the two that we saw last time, and two's not only a bigger investment, but it's a lot more micro you have to do, making sure they both get out alive instead of just one. I do feel quite strongly, though, that with the tanks positioned the way they are, with the amount that there are, really there shouldn't be a lot of damage done. Vulture's still being very active on the map right now, just making sure more than anything else that they've got control of what's going on. The odd spider mine coming down here, by the way, it cannot pick off probes. It is weird to consider, but if you've never seen it, spider mines do not activate on workers, which is why vultures don't kind of YOLO in and put down like 10 spider mines in the mineral line. That'd be overpowered as hell. So this will actually just physically block the Nexus, though, if it decides to expand. LuckyGnom, I believe, built a third CCM base. Yes, third CCM base. Double starport, or not double starport, but a starport is finally on the way. So EMPs will be absolutely necessary through science vessels if he wants to take a good engagement. Not only is that going to strip the shields of the Protoss units, but any energy if there's like Templar or Arbiters or what have you. Looks like Templar are on the way. Storm hits significantly harder in Starbow, by the way, guys. It's like, I think 125, 115. It's somewhere in that ballpark. It's much more than the 80 it does in regular StarCraft 2 anyways. Looks like Reaver is going to try and drop out here. Drops a couple spider mines to be safe. This Warp Prism needs to move. It's going to die when the turret's complete if it stays around for too much longer. I mean, we got the Charon boosters too, but they they're not going to get much effect. There's no Goliaths on the map, so... See, Warpers will be chased into another turret, and this will cost him the Scarab. A little bit of complacency out of KratisTos. Loses a pretty large amount of maneuverability, but Arbiter Tribunal on the way. Maybe this time we'll get a better use out of it. KratisTos, of course, will always have the option of that stasis field. Canadian, tomato, tomato. Fusion Core on the way again. Definitely would love to see some battle cruisers, but again, if anything, it'll probably be science vessels. Not gonna lie, guys, this has been a rather non-dynamic game, and the problem is KratisTos hasn't been in a position to be able to afford to do a lot of damage, which is kind of letting LuckyGnom just get away with everything at the moment. Now, both players, if given the opportunity to sit back, yes, technically they'll both get a death ball and get to this really scary scenario, but I kind of think for LuckyGnom it's going to be a little bit better. Combined with the fact that EMP is incredibly strong and cancels out, or rather has the capability of canceling out the spellcaster units of KratisTos, he's going to be a little bit stressed to find power through just Dragoons. Like, he's going to need something else with this army, and currently what he has just simply isn't going to cut it, in my opinion. Hell, even Dark Templar or something would be really cool for Archons, or maybe because you don't want to use the High Templar for that, of course. But Stasis Field and Recall. Okay, I'm liking the idea of the Recall a lot, though. So what's really going to be a big deal here is the Recall. Unlike the Nexus Recall, it's instant. You can pretty much use your units right away. So if you fly an Arbiter into your opponent's main, YOLO, get past the missile turret somehow, warp in like 40 Dragoons, suddenly LuckyGnom's out of position in a big way, and it's going to struggle to stay in this game. At least with his production, but again, that's probably not going to be the go-to in this scenario. He's got far too many turrets to worry about, and Stasis Field might be the better opportune choice for an actual army engagement. I'm a little bit curious if Stasis Field affects Spider Mines or not. I mean, they are technically units, but they're not registered as such in game with supply attached to them. Still being active on the map, though. Again, this is another reason why if you let a Terran player sit back in Starbow, you're going to have a bad time later on. Lots of time to get up more Spider Mines. Can replace these Vultures easily, sacrifice them in, replace them, get 3 new Spider Mines per Vulture, suddenly, bam, whole new minefield. The Banshee's kind of a cute little choice. I'm not sure on the choice in this. There's no anti-air here currently. I don't know if the Arbiter shoots up or not. Looks like it can't actually shoot up. Banshees, of course, can cloak for about 6 seconds, guys, if you don't know. It doesn't require energy, and there's no energy requirements, so they can... Well, I just said the same thing twice, but the point is they can cloak for 6 seconds with relative ease. The damage is, of course, still pretty darn good, but it's not nearly as potent as it is in regular StarCraft 2, which is why you don't really see Banshees make a big appearance. But he scouted the Arbiter. I mean, he's seen that with the Banshee if he's paying attention. Another base being established here for LuckyGnom, though. Could probably, honestly, like, quadruple expand. He's got so much map control going for him, but not going to be probably the case anytime soon. Double Zealots still trying to do what they can. Perhaps going to bait into a Widow Mine or Spider Mine or two? I guess not. Looks like Banshee the main was cleaned up. How many workers did it kill, though? About 7, so not too bad. Dropship coming out will be kind of fun if you can get some Vultures towards the main, do some drop harass, but I don't think the economy's got to be really the target at this point. Both players are going to have a pretty sizable bank in this upcoming engagement, and this is one of the rare opportunities where if KratisTos can get some pylons down right now, if he can actually max out, this is where Warp Tech actually comes into effect to instantly warp in and just try and overwhelm your opponent in one giant army battle rather than trying to use it as regular reinforcements. But this Arbiter, what is it planning to do? There's so many missile turrets. There's nowhere for it to maneuver in, and I think he really wants to go for some cheeky recall, but I don't think it's going to happen. If he could recall, though, that'd be huge. That's a lot of Spider Mines. Yeah, even in the main. So if a recall does go down, a lot of these units are going to take some damage pretty darn quick. There we go. Recall comes down. A good handful of units get over to this base. So this will do a bit of damage. Zealots are going to actually get picked off here. There's so many Spider Mines down, though. Honestly, LuckyGnom shouldn't be in too much trouble. It's an annoyance to deal with for sure. It's brought not the entire front lines back, though. He really didn't overreact to this. LuckyGnom's kept his tanks sieged up. He's got the Widow Mines, or sorry, Spider-Man still vanguarding them. He's got a, hell, even a Viking or two with this. So, yeah, he's perfectly fine. There's an upgrade for the siege tanks in the game, by the way. Hang on, has he actually upgraded it? No. There's an upgrade for the siege tanks you can get that makes it so you can pick up siege tanks in siege mode on a dropship, which is kind of cool, but not exactly the most useful thing in the world. But it's fun to see when it actually does happen. Push in the front lines here. Again, there's a lot of spider mines to cover this army, and that's always going to be a big problem to deal with. There's no easy way to deal with these spider mines, like other than throwing units away at them. And of course, KratisTos, who's still not even maxed, isn't going to want to be doing that anytime soon. The Templar will be a really nice addition. Storms will absolutely wreck everything here. Still plenty of scans given out LuckyGnom. Just trying to really keep an eye on where the army is. Does not want to get caught off guard. Getting this really kind of scary split, just this insane split map scenario, which on one hand is really cool, because you're going to have like this really dynamic fight when it finally comes down to it. But the reality is, I don't think KratisTos is going to be the one who pushes anytime soon. 4 Vultures is going to be unloaded in the main, but there's still a couple Dragoons that have been left here probably by accident, not on purpose, so this will actually work out quite nicely. 112 damage from the Templar Storm, by the way, so it's close, but not quite there. Losing a full energy Templar is going to suck a bit, though. Could storm this easily and probably clean it up, but a big fight forced in the middle of the map. Arbiter did throw down some stasis fields on top of those siege tanks, allowing the Dragoons to try and push forward. Again, this will take them out of the game for 45 seconds, guys. Another stasis field comes down, and suddenly this army from LuckyGnom is looking a lot less impenetrable. Pushing through this, he's got to deal with these other siege tanks. Let's not forget, they're coming out of stasis in about 15 seconds. So the Dragoons he currently has could certainly deal with them as long as they sit right on top of camp this. And let's not forget, with no detection here, LuckyGnom actually can't see about half of these Dragoons. So as the siege tanks come out of their stasis, they will get a couple volleys off. Goliath will try and take out that Arbiter, will manage to actually take it down, but the siege line has been pretty much broken here. And what's really cool about Starbow, guys, is you'll notice this wasn't so game-endingly broken that it's made it one-sided. The Dragoons still took a lot of damage, and so did the Terran player. The difference is LuckyGnom's got the capability, not just through like income, but his production is insane. There's no way for KratisTos to match this with what he currently has. Like, if this was like regular StarCraft 2, these were warp gates, maybe, but that's not going to be the case. So this is a very, very scary situation for KratisTos. He just took such a good fight in the middle of the map, and no, he didn't wipe out LuckyGnom, he didn't push him back, but he killed so many siege tanks, you might be thinking, great, I'm back in this game in a big way. But unfortunately, one other thing worth noting, KratisTos has almost no upgrades, guys. I didn't even notice this till just now, but he's got level 2 weapons and level 1 armor finishing up in just a second's time here. It definitely would have been nice to have had. Whoa, what's this? I've never seen this upgrade yet. Oh, that's the command center one. Talk about that in a second here. For those who don't know why I'm looking at it, it's one usually you get much earlier. It makes it so scan doesn't cost any energy. It has 2 charges, so it just has like a cooldown based system. But I'm not liking the way this is looking for KratisTos. The stalkers being made are kind of cool. They look a little bit weird, you guys might notice, but they don't have the same damage that they do, and they are literally classified as a support unit in Starbow, which is kind of a depressing thing. So their blank utility is kind of their strongest asset, but looks like a couple vultures do get into the mineral line some way, somehow, and can pick off some probes here. Probes are trying to retaliate. It looks like these will get cleaned up, but not before losing even more workers. 45 workers killed so far this game. And it's not over yet. We still got Goliath in the middle of the map, all these siege tanks, and again, a very scary, looking like it's an unbreakable force. And without Arbiters, it certainly is. Yikes. So to talk a little bit more about the stasis field while we wait here, guys. By the way, that's not a mule. You cannot call down mules in Starbow. It just creates an SCV instantly. What's really cool is Arbiters. You'll notice the tanks couldn't take damage while they were in the stasis field. It's not broken like you just CC them, LOL, I win, but it takes them out of the fight, it CCs them, and again, it's like superior force fields. Another fight being forced here in the middle of the map. Don't like that KratisTos is taking this. This could cost him the game right here. This is a lot of damage that he is suffering here on the front lines for the cost of like 2 tanks and 5 vultures. Realistically, not worthwhile for KratisTos. But still trying to push forward. EMPs have been thrown out like crazy, and if they're not, nerve jammers can certainly be used too. More reinforcements coming to the front lines whenever applicable, but again, the spider mines do such a great job at adding to the zoning potential. Not only does it basically soak the hits, kind of like almost a ghetto point defense run in that regard, but the Dragoons can't push past them. They have to actually stay back a little bit. And the longer they stay back, oh god, the more that they're going to arm. It looks like those Dragoons get wiped. Good game is called. LuckyGnom will take game number 1 here in the quarterfinals. All right.